Welcome back to season 2 of the Usually Best of Friends podcast.
If you can see my face right now, I'm so excited.
Season 2. What happened?
We thought we would be bigger and better this season, but clearly you can't work the console yet.
No,
I said if you would
I'm
have...
still figuring it out.
Yeah, that applies to a lot of things. If you guys could see my face of excitement, because I can't believe that we made it through season 1 already. It went by so fast.
Why did we decide on seasons?
I thought it would just
Continue.
catch people's attention.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, yes, but also because the first season, all we talked about was friendship, and we can't disgusting. I mean, we could keep talking about it, but people are going to get bored. They're like, okay, we get it.
We get it. You guys have friends. We don't.
We all have friends.
Yeah. What did you guys like most about season 1?
That's a good question.
I think for me, it was just Vicky like leading every time. So did you learn anything? Or
I didn't lead.
yeah, like most episodes were.
Did I learn
You kinda
anything?
guiding us.
I learned about you guys.
Yeah.
We had a lot of closure in a lot of
That's
different
true.
areas. I learned that was neat. That was neat to have.
I liked our last episode because Vicky and I had our moments of
Closure
realization. Yeah, closure.
Last one with attachments.
on attachments.
Yeah, when we were talking about things that I perceived to be selfish and just negative about Vicky that she didn't intend in that way.
You know what? Now that I think about it, it was actually very it was very much a parallel process where we were having closure and it was our last episode and we were closing out season 1.
I know.
And it was unintentional. That's how life is.
Unintentional? Yeah, I agree. I'm kidding.
How are you, Julissa?
My favorite part.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the question?
Yeah, just your thing you remember most.
I don't know. I just like the fact that, yeah, Vicky's over here clinging and clacking.
I'm sorry.
She had an oopsie over there.
Dude.
It's the second time she gets dirty today. Anyway, just the fact that I get to sit here and have these conversations with you guys and finally record and film them because we weren't born in like an era where we had cell phones or Snapchat or social media.
Yeah.
So a lot of our lives that we are so happy of and proud of together, we have no record of. And
Right.
Well, you kind of do.
I mean, if we go back to our old Yahoo email accounts,
True.
I don't look deep into.
I don't have that though.
I still have.
I still have my.
Really?
Yeah.
Y'all need to
I think I still
expose
have I still have my email account. It starts
Somewhere
with
in
DNA,
Yeah.
and I think I still have conversations.
But we still have like the YouTube videos we're watching the other day.
I know, but that is just like a 1% of what
Just
our
a glimpse.
everyday life was.
Yeah.
Stop clicking and clacking over there. Oh my God. But anyway,
You know
yeah.
what? We should share one of those YouTube videos on our account so people can see what we're talking about.
No,
It would be so funny.
they are so cringy, bro.
No.
They were funny.
Yeah. It's a good memory to look back to.
Oh my God. Well, I don't know. I don't want to share them, but you guys decide which one to share and I'll share.
The cringiest one. And there's not
The one where
many.
we were all singing and Abraham's face was painted white. And you're like, Vicky. And then Abraham, do. That one.
No.
That's a good one. It was literally our first. Was it technically our first song?
That was our
Together.
first ever recording.
Yeah. But I don't think that one's cringy. I thought you guys were talking about the church interviews.
Oh, no.
Oh, that. Yeah, those are cringy.
Yeah, but those are the other people we don't really talk to anymore.
Exactly. Okay. So if we're talking about the music video,
Yeah.
absolutely we can post that.
That'll be so funny.
It's like a little clip.
That's embarrassing still.
Wow.
Because how old were we there? I was like 12. So
It's all right.
No, it's embarrassing.
I have a question. Let's talk about that video. Sorry. Let's talk about the video.
Video.
How different that video? How different would you describe yourself now from Abraham at that time and Julissa at that time?
I don't remember how I was back then. Do you?
You had a rice tooth.
No,
That's what I remember too.
You didn't have it anymore?
I don't know. I took it off at that time though. Yeah.
For everyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, Abraham had a tiny tooth between his two front teeth. It was just an extra tooth, right?
Yeah.
It was tiny and it looked like rice.
It looks like a piece of rice. So he used to call it his rice tooth.
That's funny.
No, that's actually pretty mean.
I didn't mind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
rice tooth.
I kind of missed my rice tooth when it went away.
Really?
Unique. What do you mean? I don't think I smiled back then because of it.
Yeah.
'Cause you know how a lot of people smile with their like teeth?
Yeah.
Like I don't. I just smile.
That's Vicky.
I'm
She's
sorry. I
Bro,
thought
why
I
you
put it
gotta
on.
color out? Just let it know.
that's funny.
But anyway,
We were saying something.
I was asking
Yeah.
how different do you guys think you are from your
We were
9-year-old
grown.
self at that time?
I'm more grown.
Definitely
I
more
know
grown.
more about the base.
You have a beard.
Yeah. I don't remember how I was back then. Because you guys would have to tell me.
You were quiet,
You were really quiet.
avoidant.
I'm still avoiding.
You were definitely quiet. I remember.
I'm munching.
You know what? One thing I remember about Abraham is every time we would find something out that would happen, I'd be so surprised. I'd be like, "No way, Abraham!"
What do you mean?
You want to talk about it?
Just like,
Nah.
things. Like for
Not talking
example,
about that.
I'm trying to think of an example.
Can we
But-
please talk about it?
No.
Let's talk about the big.
That's in the past.
Oh, I know what you're referring to.
Okay.
But that's not what I meant. Like, that's one of the examples. But I was thinking about other times where, I don't know, like, for some reason, Abraham would get in trouble and it would be so hard for me to
What?
believe it. Because it's like, Abraham's so quiet, though.
I don't
like,
remember.
how?
I don't know what she's referring to.
Yeah. Well, what are you getting in trouble with?
Just, I don't know. Just like you would get in trouble, maybe with your mom.
No. I think you're making things up.
No,
For real.
I remember always thinking about you in that way. Oh, okay. I remember this specific instance. You didn't get in trouble though, but I think Julissa, you told me about something where you and your old friend Louis, or your current friend, but he's, we're older now.
He's
You were
not that
both-
much older than us. We're the same age.
You both were fighting over a girl. And it was so hard for me to believe that. Because I was just like, but Abraham's so
who?
quiet.
What?
Whoa.
What do you mean who? The one
Yeah.
that called me a hoochie mama.
We were fighting over
You
her.
were. Yes, you were. I remember.
No. Did I?
I don't remember this at all.
I don't know if you guys were like physically fighting. I'm not
Doubt
saying.
it. Doubt
or
it.
like verbally, but there was tension because you were both being avoidant about the conversation.
I didn't even know he liked you till like recently.
Bruh. I remember,
swear.
Julissa, I remember that me and Eric would we knew there was something going on and it was awkward because we're like, well, they seem like they're so close together. And then it was a topic that you two would avoid.
I don't remember this, bro.
I remember this so clearly and it was so hard for me to believe it.
No, I believe you, Vicky, that this happened. I don't remember it.
You want to know why I remember so well?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I was so shook at the fact that he had carved her initials on his hand and you were sitting right next to each other.
Wait, who? Lewis carved
Yeah.
her initials?
Yes.
I thought you were saying Abraham did.
No, and I was just so
I think I did that.
surprised. What?
Yeah, I think
You carved her initials in. Damn, bro.
Yeah.
They did have you under a spell.
I did. I remember.
Well, I'm just trying to say that there were things
least
I
it didn't
remember
stick,
that I
you
would
know?
be surprised about. I couldn't believe it. Like it was too hard for me to believe.
I'm scared.
But I was beefing with Lois.
That
Yeah, I
specific
guess that
instance,
is kind of surprising. No, but I feel like I didn't even know he liked her.
which was hard because we all knew and we knew about
the
you
heck?
too.
Everyone liked her at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Damn. How does it make you guys feel that
Played all
everyone,
of us.
Everybody was fighting for the same person.
and she didn't pick any of you?
For real. That's true.
Literally, not a single one
that
of you.
is so funny.
You didn't make it on the rasta.
Whatever.
What was that?
It's my foot. I'm sorry.
Your what?
My foot.
I thought she farted.
Well, that's a specific time that I remember where I was
Speak into the mic.
I was really like surprised at the way that I was being told these things, and I was just surprised. I'm like, it's hard for me to believe that from Abraham.
But that's funny though, because like I hit on a lot of your friends, so you knew this.
Let's talk about it.
No, we don't have to talk about it.
We're going to talk about it.
Wait. Before we get into that, can we please talk about the big lie that you told us?
Oh my God, no, we're not talking about that.
Why?
Because
I don't want to talk about that.
Can we
either.
look?
Exactly.
No,
It doesn't matter.
If it's season 2,
It doesn't matter.
we have to get juicy. We each get one
Dang,
question.
that's really juicy.
We each get one question that we have to ask the other people.
No.
Oh my God.
I'm not talking about that. It was a lie. It was made up.
I know. That's why I want
To
to
a
talk
certain
about
degree. Why'd you guys get so
it.
quiet?
What do you mean to a certain degree? So was it a lie or not?
Why? I think what he means is that maybe the outcome was a lie,
Yeah.
but maybe something could have led to it
Yeah.
that happened.
Was the girl real?
Yeah. What?
Okay. Can we talk about it off camera?
What? No, we already talked about this the other day.
Okay, bye.
The other day, like 5 months ago,
No, we talked about it when Eric was here.
you never told me about
Not
it.
in detail. You didn't tell me
I
that
just
it was
never want to know that I'm being excluded already.
partially true.
You were at work.
I'm being excluded.
You were at work because you FaceTimed me. And you
I
were
was
at work.
uninvited.
No,
I'm joking.
Why did she do this? She like makes me feel bad. Even though it's like not my fault.
No, it's
That's
not your
funny.
fault.
Whose fault is it?
No one's.
Oh, okay.
Fridays, I was at work.
No, because Abraham has a soft spot for Vicky, and if you guys haven't noticed that in this podcast, start paying attention.
Nice to everyone, including you, just.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. So I think that I'm for real. In season 2, we have to
Yeah.
get a little juicy. Vicky, speak into the mic.
Just turn it. Turn it. Yeah.
I
like
want to
that.
talk about how Abraham dated a lot of my friends.
I didn't date them. All of them.
There was like 2, right?
I mean,
No,
Was there
that's
2?
it. I can name one that I actually dated.
2.
can we actually name them?
If you're gonna bleep it out.
No.
Yeah.
It's too much editing.
What
Like,
if
I'm
they
looking
what
up.
if they sue us because we added them on?
Exactly. I'm not trying to get sued.
We're not going to say their last name.
Yeah, but they'll know.
Okay, wait, let's do it this way. What letter does her name start with? The one that you remember dating?
What do you mean?
S.
S.
Okay, so then what are you talking about?
Yes.
And
You
and
said-
who else?
And
Yeah.
C.
No, she didn't. He
See?
didn't date
Who's C?
Really?
the drumstick girl.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I told
But
you.
like for like 24
That's why I
hours.
said 2.
You dated her for real?
Yeah. Did I?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
So
you
like a
did.
week.
Not a long time though.
It was like a
Definitely not a
week.
long time.
Why are we gonna make this episode about who Abraham dated though? That's so lame. How about we don't talk about who he dated? We talk about who he put his tongue down their throat.
What?
Oh,
You're making it feel uncomfortable.
you're weird.
I don't care. Tell the story. Tell the story. Tell the story at the pool at the park.
It's so uncomfortable.
That is uncomfortable. She's literally in tears later.
Bro. You made me want to pee.
Bro,
So we can't talk about it. You guys don't want to talk about anything, bro.
I don't care. You just tell the story.
Okay. I'm trying to. It's so weird how I remember every detail.
That is strange. Wait, you guys want to know something weird?
Yes.
Like before we got
Okay.
to your house that day?
Okay.
So I went with Miguel, right? Was it that day? Miguel was there, right? The tall one?
Maybe you did. But I
Yeah,
don't
because I'm
remember.
pretty sure. So before this, because I think we had made plans to go to your house and watch the soccer game.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, can you scoop me up? And he did. But he picked me up like 2 hours before we would go to your house. And he took me to this ranch in the middle of nowhere.
And
And just thinking back, oh, he's in a, he was older than us. I was like, he's doing, he's in, he has something to do here. But and we just parked there in a random old barn thing. And we just parked there. It's oh, I'm waiting for someone. They're like, okay. And like thinking back, I'm like, bro, what if he was trying to like murder me or something?
Wait, what ended up happening?
Nothing. We were just there for like 30 minutes.
And then
And nothing happened. And we just left.
he didn't meet up with anyone?
No one showed up.
What the heck? That's weird.
He was
is
trying to make out with you.
Well, I don't know about that, but
You know what? Thinking back to our childhood, I feel like because we were so young, we were really young. Even you, Ibrahim, we were all so young. There were a lot of older people around us that shouldn't have been around us.
Yeah, I agree.
we've talked about this, no?
Well, the
Maybe
thing is,
apart from the podcast.
Yeah.
yeah, we should talk about that. Now that's interesting
That is
because
interesting.
Yeah.
we were around a lot of. Wait, are we going to talk about it? How about you develop the conversation because mine can go a different direction really quickly. So go ahead. What do you mean by that?
Hold on. Before we get there, finish your story.
Oh,
And then we'll go from there.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so at this time, Abraham was dating one of my friends, and we're
No,
not
hold on. We weren't dating yet. I
You
think I
weren't
asked her
dating.
out that day.
No, I
Yeah.
think. Okay.
Like we were talking.
They were
but-
talking, and then he started dating one of my friends. This was a pretty close friend to me at that time. Actually, really close. Like
I
very
slapped her.
close. Because she
You what?
I slapped her.
she was being mean to me.
What do you mean bogus? I was defending Vicky and I slapped her and I got sent to the principal's office because her ear was ringing all day.
I remember.
And I'd do it again. Go ahead.
You guys still talk to her?
No, I haven't heard of.
Okay.
I've never heard.
We're
of
changing
Sorry.
topic too much.
Well, it's not changing topic. It's on topic.
No, I haven't. Well, I haven't heard of her.
I have,
And I
but
don't
I'm
want
not
to.
legally allowed to tell you guys.
Bro.
I'm not kidding. I'm not okay.
Well, you gotta explain yourself.
I can't.
You can't just say that.
I explained that I can't legally say it
Why though?
because it's an invasion of privacy.
It's confidentiality.
Whatever.
Continue.
Well, okay. So, like Abraham was saying, I guess, started dating my friend that day, and she was over my house. The plan of that day was that Abraham was going to come over and watch the soccer game with my dad because my dad's a soccer fanatic. And at that time, Abraham was 2.
He still is.
He still is. I don't know if he is as much as before, though.
Literally.
Maybe.
Your dad?
No, you.
Oh no, I don't even watch soccer like that no more.
Oh.
Yeah, at that time, soccer fanatics. Well, he was coming over, and my friend was over too. But I think partially him coming over to watch the soccer game with my dad was to also be with my friend. So that it was late at night. The soccer game ended pretty late, actually. And by the time it had ended, I had asked my dad, can we go to the park? And he would have said no if I was alone with my friend. But because Abraham was there and he was a little older than us, he was like, yeah.
And trustworthy. Abraham, like our family trusts him.
Yeah. So he's not that much older, okay? Abraham's not that old. Anyway. So there was a park, like a small park. And like if you go to those subdivisions sometimes, they have like small parks like at every corner.
Community parks.
Yeah. Community parks. It was small. So it was around like a block away from my house. So we all started walking there. At that time, when we got there, it was just us 3. And I didn't feel like I was third wheeling at all until we got to this next part when I was just like, oh okay. So I'm definitely
That's
third
what we're
wheeling.
doing.
And so I was there, right? I was there. And then I don't remember if I don't think it was you, Abraham. I think it was my friend.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, Vicky, go over there. And I was like, why? And at that moment, actually, it all like fell together because I received a phone call from another person at that moment. And so I was just like, fine. And so I went over there by the swings, another set of swings, and they were sitting by one of the benches. And when I look over, I just see them making out. But by the way, this is the first time I ever see Abraham make out with anybody.
Kiss anybody.
Kiss anybody. I was so like,
You're offended.
She's like, you do that?
yeah.
You know how to do that? And I wasn't there.
And you know what?
I know.
It was just, that's how I reacted because this was one of the events that I'm talking about where I'm just like, why is it so hard for me to believe that Abraham's doing something like this? And it wasn't just a kiss. He was like,
You didn't have to say all that.
Yes, she did. That's so nasty. Can we just give context though? How old were you guys? Oh. What grade were you in when you were friends with her? 6th grade or 7th?
I think it might have been 7th grade.
Which is like...
Because she ended up
13,
moving schools
12.
when we entered high school.
So then we were 12 and Abraham was 14.
Yeah, 14,
Yeah.
15.
You should not be making out like that with somebody at 14.
Well, that's
What?
the thing. I was surprised that this was even happening. I was so like, what is going on? What is that? Because I had never made out with anyone. And so it was just crazy to me.
To be fair, I had never made out with anyone either.
She was your first makeup?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was.
No, that's a lie.
Yeah. Has to be.
I need to put a
Like that? Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I doubt it. I feel like you were a fast boy.
Maybe.
Yeah, well, that was the story. It was funny.
Dang.
It was my first experience at witnessing like something live like that happen.
Can I just say that I've never personally seen Abraham make out with anyone or kiss anyone? I've never seen you kiss anyone. And he has a whole girlfriend.
I feel like we've seen him kiss Lala.
Not me. I haven't seen you guys kiss.
I don't know. I
Or
feel like I
kisser.
have.
That's what you're asking.
I know you do. Can we get into the adult topic now?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
No, because I don't know where you're taking this.
Well, the reason why I ask is because this person that Abraham is talking about at that time was 19, wasn't he?
He was older. I think he had graduated already.
He had
no?
already graduated high school. We were barely,
Going into high school.
Abraham was barely going into high school.
We weren't in high school yet.
No, we were in middle
We were like
school.
7th grade.
Yeah, so it's just weird to me to think like that's not the only person that was ever around us that was that old, considering that there was this large age gap where if anything would happen, they could be convicted as like an adult and we wouldn't. We were children.
But it's also not necessarily something that was our fault for being around adults. Like that guy should not have been
Well,
pulled to hang out. Like why was he drawn to hang out with us? We were so
because
young.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there was kids his age, like young adults. I feel like either people were like older adults, like at our age, like which he wouldn't fit in with.
there
So
had
he
to
only
be
had
someone.
us, like to hang out.
He was cool. He never did anything inappropriate, but
Yeah.
Right.
but it was a little weird.
It was a little off. It's sus.
In my opinion, he's a pedo.
Really?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Well,
Okay, not getting into too deep into like
we're not going to say who it is.
right, or we're not going to get too deep into explaining specific situations, but situations happen with other people where it was wrong.
Yeah.
It was legally wrong.
With him?
No, I'm talking about other people.
Okay.
And other people maybe that were still under 18.
Well, I guess to not confuse the people that are listening, we were around a lot of adult men. And I say adult men because I'm not talking about 30, 40-year-old men. I'm talking about men that were 20, 21, like 21 through 28 even.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this person who, I almost said their name. Oh my gosh. He was 19. Yeah, I know. But he was 19 and we were super young. So the age gap is still
Like
there.
12, 11.
Yeah. And a lot of these adult men had crushes on the girls our age.
Yeah, and that's what
And it was
that's what is
common
wrong.
too.
It was like known.
Yeah, and people were okay with that.
People, that's the thing. That's the creepy thing because people would be like, let's give an example. I'm going to name not a person, but I'm going to make up a name, right?
That's so weird.
Do you guys remember G?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think I'll remember.
Okay.
I remember.
We're going to call him Jack. Okay.
Jack.
We're going to call him Jack.
Hi, Jack.
So it would be common in our environment for someone to be like, no, not for someone, for Jack to be like, oh, I want to marry someone like Victoria when I get old. Like, no, not even when I get old, nothing. Like I want to marry someone like Victoria. And everyone around who was of their age or even older than all of us, like our parents would be, maybe not our parents, but
No.
of our parents' age,
Yeah.
would say nothing to them.
They would kind of like
Encourage it?
Yeah, encourage it. Like, oh, did you know that he likes you? Did you know this? And it's just like that's
they
weird.
make it seem like a cute thing.
Yeah. Our parents never found out though, because
No, I think for the same reasons.
my dad would have kicked some ass.
Imagine the specific scenario you're putting. Like, imagine her dad
Exactly.
knowing this.
Yeah, that's true. But it was so well known.
And you know what? What's also weird is that if you think back, like it was also very well known for like younger girls to have crushes on older men in that environment.
You know what? That's true.
Yeah.
Because you don't, and I've thought about that. You don't see that now.
No,
You don't see, like, I can't imagine one of my younger cousins having a crush on technically one of you guys.
Yeah.
Who is of the age that these guys used to be when we were my cousin's age.
It's weird.
That is weird. If you switch like positions.
Yeah, because now that would be that you
Like, I would be the.
you would be
creepy guy.
the creepy guy.
It's
Ooh,
like
that's disgusting.
Abraham and like our 10-year-old cousin.
Yeah.
It's just weird. It's weird.
It's just so inappropriate, and we didn't, thankfully, you know, our circle was always protected, which is like a different conversation. I want to know how we didn't get hurt in this environment.
I know.
think-
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
All right, because I mean, at that time we were the kids, you know, like we were DNA of Christ. Like, no one touches the band or whatever.
We were like untouchable, or just very overprotected.
Yeah, we're protected.
Or I think to a certain point when it comes to that point, not just overprotective, but we were very outspoken.
Oh, that's true.
If someone would have tried something, we would have said something.
Yeah.
And they knew that, and they were intimidated by that. Because if you pay attention to some of the patterns, a lot of what happened that maybe in our eyes was like, that's a little suspicious. It was always with the shy ones.
Yes, that's true with the girls that didn't speak.
Okay. Yeah,
You know?
I see that.
And honestly,
And you know what? We don't want anyone to think like any abuse happened.
No, yeah.
Okay, there was
Definitely
no abuse. We just don't want to go into context because we don't want to out people that we know.
yeah, and like not the people that we think are pedophiles. That we're not trying to protect them. It's
Right.
the person, the younger people who
Yeah.
were put in that situation. We don't have the context of what they went through.
Right.
We just know that things were uncomfortable for them, and we don't want to speak for them.
Right.
And I do want to say that I think we're just now finding it out because as kids we had no clue.
No
like,
idea.
We didn't know, like, oh yeah, like, oh, he likes her. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
But like now that you think about it, bro, that's not funny. That's
Yes,
That's weird.
Now that we're older and we realize that at this age, my age right now, me having a crush on like a 13-year-old boy, that's what they would think was like cute or okay, and we could never.
That's just weird. That's weird. I was actually going to say, because yours reasoning was actually really good as to why I feel like maybe with us, they never would try anything. But I was thinking more of like, we were always surrounded by a lot of people. We were always with a lot of people. We were never alone. If someone saw Julissa, they would see her with all of us.
Yeah.
Someone saw Abraham, we'd all be there. We were never in a vulnerable spot where we were alone and maybe someone could try to be weird around us.
I don't know, because I think that's true for me and you, because we were girls and our parents were okay with leaving us with Eric and Abraham and their mom.
Yeah.
But they would never let us alone with these men.
Oh,
But Eric and Abraham's mom would let Eric and Abraham with these men.
yeah.
So maybe you have a different perspective of like you were alone with a lot of people and a lot of these creepy people.
no, not with the creepy one.
No?
Like I was along with people that were trusted,
Okay.
you know, by our leaders to deal with us, and they never did anything.
Good.
But I do
That's
I see
crazy.
what you're saying.
Yeah. Just because
Because we could, sorry, I'm
No.
just kidding. But I feel like because it would be easier for someone who did have like the trust of our leaders to do something,
yeah,
like someone with power.
that's
But
true.
thankfully that never happened.
Yeah, we honestly, I feel like dodged a lot of bullets is I guess the point of this conversation. And by a lot of bullets, I mean a lot. the majority of people that were around us were very sick people.
No, don't say majority. It was
The ones that are
There's a
gone.
couple.
The ones that are gone.
You know what? The ones that are gone were sick people because
Okay, maybe not a majority, but
right, not the majority.
more than it should have been.
oh yeah, but
Because in the environment that we were in, there should not have been this many ill-intended people.
Right, because eventually they left our lives. We don't know anything of them, but what we do know of a lot of these people is that they were convicted for whatever.
They hurt other kids.
They did hurt other kids. So it's like literally it was just God at that moment with us because nothing ever happened to us.
Yes. And it's just scary. It's just scary to put yourself in that perspective, to think that someone, I mean, I'm just repeating myself, but that Abraham or myself or you would be endangering or grooming a kid right now at this age.
That's just weird.
That's bold and sick.
One of them added me on Facebook and I keep like waiting for the days to go by to just delete the request.
really?
I need to know who it is. I mean, I
Yeah.
know you can't say, but
Yeah, I'll
Say
show you guys after.
No, just we'll bleep it.
oh no,
Yeah.
it doesn't bleep well. Can you just
this
show
one
us?
Does. This one does.
Yeah.
It does?
Yeah. But
Why?
we won't be able to hear it.
No, I'll just show you. I don't have to.
Yeah, just because. What if I
Look,
forget?
I literally have it right there. And it's been on there for a month. And then recently it switched to 6. So they unfriended and then they sent the friend request
They
again.
just deny it. Like, why are you gonna feel bad?
Yeah,
We'll deny
right.
it. I do that.
Delete. There you go.
Yeah.
That's very shocking. Do you know what happened with him?
Yeah. Didn't it?
Were you the one who told me what happened with him? Do you know what happened
Maybe.
with him?
You guys mentioned it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's weird.
You guys.
And the thing, I'm sorry, with this specific person,
makes me uncomfortable.
I think there was a lot of times where I might have shared with you guys where I would see this person in public places like the gym, and I would see this person speaking to like girls that were younger than me. And it was always kind of like, dude, you're freaking old. What are you doing talking to that girl? Like I went to high school with them and they're like 2 years younger than me.
wow.
And so,
Yeah.
I just feel bad because I wish that we had the chance to be closer to their age and call them out. You know, because I feel like if someone our age did that now, we'd call them out.
yeah. Oh, heck yeah.
But that's the thing, like the girls that were their age, where were they? Why didn't they call them out?
Yeah.
They were friends with, I know people that are
Yeah.
close to us that were friends with these people. And you're telling me that you didn't see the signs that your friend was a creep and say something?
I think you would notice.
Do you guys think it was that was more acceptable back then? Because I feel like that kind of stuff is accepted more in our
Culture.
culture as
I would-
Hispanics.
I was going to say that I think it still happens, but I think you see it more when you're involved a lot with people within our culture who are just coming or migrating from Mexico or from any
Yeah.
other country.
I agree.
Because recently there's this other person who migrated, I forgot from what country, it was in Mexico, but some girls that were a lot younger than us were like saying, no, I feel weird around this person because this person, you could tell that they had other intentions.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you have a crush on a 12-year-old or a 15-year-old?
I guess that's true. It's probably just a cultural thing, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a hard time thinking that people are that stupid just because our parents always warned us. My parents didn't ever let me speak to, I would have been 12 days. You didn't even want me speaking to a 15, 16-year-old. I mean, Abraham wasn't that much older than us, but he was an exception because it was like a healthy, normal friendship. But if I had friends around your age in the world, my parents would not be okay with that. So we were aware of stranger danger. We were aware of not the stranger danger, but the age thing
Yeah.
and how people are creepy. My parents always warned me about X, Y, and Z, a lot of the people. So I was awakened to that. So the fact that there are, like I said, the girls that were these men's age, which is like people all of 26, I'm just shocked that they never said anything to these guys.
Well, I think I don't want to talk too much, but I think it does go in a way go back to the cultural piece because, for example, there are different parts. I'm just going to speak on Mexico because I only know this about Mexico. I can't speak on every other Latin country, but there are different pueblitos who have different ideas. And just because we're Mexican doesn't mean that we all have the same idea. But there are pueblitos who practice incest. Like they marry their first cousins.
Yes.
They'll marry someone who's like 15 while they're like 27 years old. And
That's true.
these are customs that they've practiced for so long. And some families in Mexico don't practice this at all. And when they've run into someone who's very okay with it, it's like, dude, that's weird. Yeah. And for us, I feel like culturally, our parents did not come from a place from Mexico that these things were practiced. But you see this more in La Sierra, like the smaller pueblitos.
Okay.
Where these things are constantly being practiced.
That makes sense. I just don't think that the setting that we were in was an appropriate place to practice your country's culture.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
And also when you decide to migrate to the US, you need to be careful that you don't get sent back. And your behavior
will send you back.
Sent you back. And that's all I'm going to say on that. And stay there.
Well, that's interesting. Because we watched that movie about the kids trafficking.
Yes.
And it's mostly
our Latin American countries.
No. So I was actually reading this article about the movie that said
The Sound of Freedom.
Yeah, The Sound of Freedom, how they portrayed like Latin Americans and Hispanics, because everything was based off over there.
Right. Especially in Cartagena.
But they're saying that the reality is that Americans are the ones who buy these children mostly.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think that's something that developed in conversation with me and Randy.
Yeah.
We were talking about how, yes, and this isn't an excuse, but it's just a matter of fact. People in our countries, evil, sick, twisted people that will steal a child, do it because they need money. And who can give them money? A rich American man. So yes, it is 50-50. Like our people are stealing the children from countries where the police is not going to be on you. They know where to go. They know how to hide, which, I mean, I think that trafficking happens a lot in America, but not as, it's more the purchasing, like you're mentioning, than it is the kidnapping of the kids here. And so, yeah, in our countries, definitely we have a lot of the stealing, the secuestros, the transporting, but the people that are receiving these kids are the wealthier white skinned. I mean, I don't mean American only, just like wealthier countries because they can. So it's 50-50. It's not about, I'm stumbling on my words, but what I'm saying is that I didn't find it offensive that they shed light on what our culture does because it didn't take away from the fact that it's not our culture buying them. Not that it makes a difference, but it takes one evil culture person and another one to have the whole situation that we have right now on human trafficking.
I think it goes back to the intention, like what you're saying, like, okay, not trying to excuse what's happening at all, but the intention of just needing money because there's so much poverty in these countries versus the intention of like, I'm just sick and I'm going to buy a kid and make them my sex slave. I think those are two different intentions too.
I also don't, I have a hard time listening to that only because if you're that hungry and poor, just die.
I think that's like a personal decision though.
I know, but don't steal a kid and strip them of their, and this is where we get controversial because don't strip a kid of their life because you think, because you're hungry and you want to feed your kids. So you grab another one and you sell him into sex.
Well, I think a lot of the people who are doing this don't have their own kids. So that's why they can't connect to the emotional bond of doing that to a child. And I think they're just sick in general for them to be able to do that.
I will say that too, like maybe there are people who do it because they need the money, but I feel like most people are just evil and want more money, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
Because like, how would you even like, oh, I'm hungry, I need food. Like, oh, let's traffic kids. Like,
That's why I'm saying. That's why, like, I understand that there needs to be a certain understanding to some people who are sick in a way, but I don't think pedophiles deserve me to consider their intention. I guess that's where I'm saying, like, I don't care what your intention was. I don't care if you were hungry. That's not ever going to be something that I feel is validated. Whether you did it because you were in need. You were in need of taking a child that does not belong to you.
You're just saying it doesn't matter why you did it.
It doesn't matter why you did it. You don't do that to a child.
Well, I think poverty is definitely one thing, but then if you're doing this, you are a pedophile yourself.
Yeah.
Like I just don't think anyone would be willing to do something that bad and not be involved in it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like what we saw in the movie, these people that were in charge of sex trafficking were also pedophiles who were raping
the kids.
Yeah.
And then selling them off.
So I think they're just taking advantage of that
situation.
Yeah. And just doing that.
I don't know. Like the whole thing. And I was going to say something else. Well, they did say in the film, and it's one of the things that stuck to me the most, that especially in like Cartagena, where in Colombia, it's obviously known for selling drugs. It's obviously not that prominent now. As much as it used to be back in the day, it still happens a lot, but it's not as famous right now. But they were saying that if you're selling like a kilo of cocaine, you can sell it one time, but a kid, you can sell it 10 times a day.
Oh, I think that's what they were saying in the movie.
Yeah. So from the movie, they said that. And just the fact that someone could see a child as just like a money sign, I just don't think that there's no way to validate that.
Yeah.
To excuse that.
I don't know how people don't feel bad. Like, at what point do you like just stop feeling? And I guess that's more for Vicky. Like,
right.
How do people?
That's what I was going to
just
say.
Not feel.
This is a question for Vicky to answer because you deal with people who have issues. I'm not sure if you deal with people that have like pedophilic
I don't
tendencies.
think I've ever had someone like that extreme of a level. But I think the only thing that I've seen with everyone that I see is that you stop feeling when there's been you've experienced so much trauma and you get to a point of hopelessness, so you don't feel anymore. You just don't feel.
Like,
I just don't know how that like you disassociate and you don't feel anymore because there's so much trauma going on and you didn't learn how to handle it, and those feelings overpower you, so you just choose to tune out and disassociate. I just don't know how that applies to someone who's a pedophile.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Dang.
Do you think that, well, I mean, I guess it's a difficult conversation to have if you don't have...
I just think this is the way that I look at it, and I could be completely wrong, but I think that their desire to do what they do is just like the desire that we have to like if someone has a sex addiction in general, or like an alcoholic addiction or any drug addiction, I think they experience the same kind of hunger or desire to like, I need to take another sniff at cocaine, to like, I need to have another child. And I think it's a level of like, I don't think it's that they don't feel. I just think it's what satisfies them.
The problem with that is that, like, doing cocaine, like, you're not really hurting anyone else, you know? But
I think
doing things to a kid is like,
I think this is why
hurting someone physically and emotionally.
Sexually.
But I think that's where like us as human beings and our selfishness comes into play, because it's like we'll do whatever just to satisfy our need, and who cares about everyone else? Because although you're not hurting someone physically with cocaine, you are hurting your family emotionally because of what you're going through, what they see you going through, mostly if you're a drug addict. And they don't care as long as they're getting what they need. That's kind of...
I guess I just can't relate, because I can't imagine like hurting... Like I just can't imagine hurting someone else, let alone like a defenseless like child. Which is sad.
I don't think it's excusable in any way. I understand the effort in trying to understand why someone would do that. but I can't.
Yeah.
No, not a child. I can't. I just literally can't. There's nothing that I feel could
There's
be
something wrong
said.
with their brains.
That's not my problem.
Yeah, but
Or like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's nothing that could be said that I feel like in this scenario can't be rebutted. Like, there's an argument for every time as to why it's still wrong.
I just don't think you can find an answer to evil. It's what's evil is evil.
Yeah.
And I don't know. If you try to understand them, I don't think we can, because we just never will be unless we ourselves are wanting what they want to.
no thanks.
Yeah. And so I just feel like we'll never really get to an end.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you'll never understand them unless you put yourself in their shoes.
No, thank you, like you said. But at the same time,
Maybe not with that. But
yeah.
maybe I'll try Coke someday.
Please don't. Wait, actually, Abraham said, wait, I can't
Don't
even.
say that.
Dang it! I can't say anything in this podcast.
I'm like kidding half the time.
She doesn't. She's not.
I don't even know.
With the shrooms?
Yeah.
Bro, I was joking. You know, I'm gonna do shrooms.
Abraham said that he would try shrooms.
Hallucinogen. Would you ever do shrooms?
Hallucinogen.
No.
Why?
I don't like anything that just takes the control away from me controlling my body.
Me too. I would never. Can I just?
Interesting.
Have you ever smoked weed?
No.
Oh,
No.
Yeah.
Done ketamine.
you stay
Because,
saying
like, what is
that.
that?
No, don't listen to him. We're about to go down a rabbit hole like
Horse
Jack.
tranquilizer.
Oh God, I've never
I don't know how
smoked
people
weed.
get into that.
Well, it's the
Same thing,
desperation.
right?
I just wait for what you're saying. What is that?
It's
Oh, horse
a
tranquilizer?
horse tranquilizer. I'm sure people use it to get high, but it's like a
I don't know.
drug addict thing. I'm
Jackie
sure.
here. She's the ketamine user.
Well, why though? Like, I just don't get it.
I don't know.
Wait, you don't get what?
I don't get why. I don't get why people want to lose control of their body and their mind.
Because of the trauma.
Yeah. I mean, I understand.
I know, but it's yeah.
To like lose yourself for a moment, you know, to make you like all the pain go away.
You see, that I understand. I don't think that it's fair to let your pain go away through a child.
Yeah.
But
We're talking about weed and child.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. But like, if you're like doing a drug, not saying that it's something safe, but I
just
kind
don't
of get
think
it.
pedophiles become pedophiles because of their trauma.
Right.
I don't think so.
I agree. And that's kind of like, I was going to ask you that earlier, but I was like, maybe she can't answer that because she doesn't have a pedophile. And even if you did, you probably shouldn't tell us as a client.
Right. No, but
Wait, why don't you have to report that?
Oh, heck yeah.
The free?
I would be like, I'm reporting you right now.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they stop being her client. She can still keep
Right. I
saying
mean,
that.
unless they
But
like
they'll
fire
be in
me for
prison.
reporting them.
What?
But they're gonna be in prison. How you gonna be a client when you're in prison?
You don't, to be a pedophile, I feel like to
Or you
be,
get it registered.
no,
registered
what I'm
takes
trying
over.
to say is that I feel like if you have those tendencies, you're a pedophile. It doesn't matter if you've ever acted on your tendencies. You are a pedophile.
Because I think it shows through
Yes.
in the things that you do.
And also because if you are someone who is so conscious that you are attracted to kids and have had the willpower to not do something to them, you would be smart enough to still label yourself as a pedophile for the protection of everyone around you. So back to the point, maybe she has someone of a client, which she doesn't, obviously, who has pedophilic tendencies.
Yeah, okay.
And she doesn't have to put them on a registry list or anything like that because they haven't acted on it. But they're still a pedophile.
I see what you're saying.
Anyway, yes. So back to the other topic on
Back
drugs.
to the drugs.
I feel like
My favorite.
you're dumb. I would understand why someone
No, I
would
was
do
gonna ask
that.
Vicky. So you wouldn't, like in a controlled environment, you wouldn't try a drug.
No. I just because of the incident that I had where I was drugged.
Huh?
I
don't
think
know?
I told you.
You were drugged?
Well, not drugged.
Like on purpose?
Yeah.
It was like not on purpose. This
Like
is
a
how it
medical
happened.
procedure?
No.
They drugged you on purpose.
Boy, what?
Okay, look.
Tell me.
This is what happened. So there was an incident where somehow this tea, whatever that is, THC butter to cook with was in my home. And my mom knows nothing about it. I didn't know anything about it. Nobody, you don't know what it is until you actually. So what happened is that I guess people use it to calm yourself a little bit. But
wait,
in your food,
oil?
No, it was like a butter.
So yeah, cooking oil.
So
yeah.
it was infused.
So my mom cooked with it, but I guess you're only supposed to use a little bit. My mom didn't. My mom used a lot of it and cooked all the food with it.
Bro, why am I hearing this for the first time?
You didn't know this?
You didn't know this? You just told the story again. Who was there then?
I
thought it was Abraham.
Yeah. Anyway, so my mom's cooking with this. It was when COVID hit, actually, because I was in my last year of my undergrad and I had to finish school at home. Like, we were online. And so I was the only one at home all day for the most of the night. My parents weren't home. My sister wasn't home. But my mom was always like, always made sure that there was food so I could eat, because she knew I was in classes all day and she wanted to make sure that there was food for me to eat. Okay, so the day that she cooked that, I had food, and it, like, I want to say like 30 minutes later, I started feeling really weird and my head just started spinning. So I was like, maybe I've been on the computer for too long. Like, I need to get off the computer. So I shut the computer down and I walked to the couch and then I knocked out. Right. That was the first time.
You need to tell them that
she woke up in the morning.
No. Look. Probably, dude. I don't know what happened. So that was the first day.
That was the first day because she had this food.
Again, the second time. But this is what happened.
Funny.
The second time I had the food, I had it twice that day. So on the only one that was eating the food was me and my dad, because my mom was getting home late from work. My sister wasn't eating at home, so I ate. My dad ate that night and he knocked out, but he didn't know like
what was going on.
Yeah, we didn't speak about like, oh, this is how I felt today.
They're avoidant.
We just went to bed. Okay, the second day that I had the food, I had it for lunch and I had it for dinner, because I was the only one eating at home. And when I had it for like dinner, I had it like around maybe like 5 o'clock. My parents were still at work. And I remember that it hit me even worse. It hit me worse because this time I felt like everything was moving. Like the windows were like moving this way. And I was just like, what is going on? So then again, I need to go lay down. I've been on the computer for too long. This is what happens. The couch is like, this is the table and the couch was like right over there, like that couch. And I start walking to the couch and I like move, like in my mind, I'm moving so slow. I'm like, why is the couch like so far away?
But she was so high.
She was so high.
And so I'm just like, why can't I get there? The point is that I lay down and me siento mareada to the point where I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I've been on the computer for too long. Well, my mom calls me instantly before I fall asleep because I would have knocked out. She's like, oh, me and your dad and your sister are going to go out for dinner. Do you want to come? I'm like, yeah, I think I need to get out of the house because I thought it was the computer. When we were in the car, we were driving to, if you live in Plano, there's this place called Cancun, and my parents love it.
It's all right.
And so we went there. And at that time we lived in Aurora. So it was like a 35 minute drive. So we were driving and I remember that I had to put the window down because I just was not feeling okay. And so my parents are having a conversation. My sister's on her phone and I'm on the other seat. And so then
listen to this, bro.
My parents are having a conversation and I start laughing and I'm giggling. And my parents, I think I was giggling too much or laughing. I don't know what I was doing that my parents were concerned, because they turned around and they're like, are you okay? Why are you laughing? I'm like, oh, because you guys are saying something funny. And my parents are like, no, we're not. We're talking about something serious. And I'm like, no, you guys are saying something really funny. And I'm not going to say who they were talking about. But
I don't even know. You didn't tell me this part.
Oh.
So it was something serious and I was laughing and my parents were just like, okay, no, we're not saying anything funny. Well, then I the window's down and the air is coming into me, and I start feeling like these tickles all over my body.
The wind is like,
Yeah, and it felt good. I was just like, oh, this is amazing. Like I felt like my sister says that she knew what was already going on because she was just like, dude, what's wrong with you? Because I'm pretty like normal. And so I was doing things that were concerning my family, but my sister kind of was just like, I think I know what's going on. But she didn't say anything. Well, when we got to the table, we ordered our food, and I got my plate of food, which I remember I got un caldo de pescado. And dude, I started laughing. Like I went out and I started laughing again and giggling. And I was like, and my parents look at me and my mom's just like, are you okay? Like, ¿estás bien? ¿Te sientes bien? And in that moment, I caught myself and I realized, no, I'm not okay. And I told my mom, I was like, no, I'm not okay. Like, I started explaining. I was just like, I started explaining like what I was feeling. I'm like, no, I don't feel okay. This was happening to me. This is how I feel. My body was tickling again. And I felt like I was floating. And it felt nice, but it was like, I don't know why I feel like this. And my mom's like, no, we're going to have to take you to the hospital. Ahorita Javier la llevas al hospital. And so my sister's sitting in the corner laughing because she knew exactly what was going on. She didn't say anything, but she started laughing. And then she told my mom, like, no, you guys don't have to take her to the hospital. And so my sister explained like what was happening, and my parents blew up. They were so mad. They were so mad because I accidentally or purposefully, I don't know, got high by eating that food. And then my sister was like, how much butter did you put on that? To my mom. And my mom's like, how was I supposed to know what that butter was? And my mom's like, yo le eché mucho. And then my sister's like, I knew you did. I knew you used a lot because I could smell it. And I was just like, what is going on? And then that's when my sister explained. And my parents were really mad because then my dad was just like, esa cochinada, because he was like, last night I had that food and I felt like how she was feeling.
Imagine my tío realizing that he had no control over his body last night.
And so because of that experience, I didn't like it because although it was tickling, I didn't like it. And thinking back to it, I'm like, I would never. So yeah. That's how
funny.
I mean, at least her experience, it wasn't that bad. It was literally in a safe space. She was at home the entire time.
It's terrible, dude.
But then I guess, on that note, you would do some type of drug.
Oh.
Would you try
Why
it?
asking me?
Because
I feel like I'd have a panic attack.
Because you asked Vicky if she would do it. And then.
Oh, in a controlled environment?
Yeah.
Nah. I feel like I'd have a panic attack.
Me too. We could have we would literally have a panic attack on a normal day.
For real.
So why would we do that to ourselves?
That's funny.
It's scary.
It's the first time hearing.
I can't believe you didn't know.
That's a good story.
It's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
Definitely one to tell.
But when you guys say that someone drugged her, I was thinking something else.
you know who?
What?
Did you have someone in mind?
No, I'm just saying, like, she went somewhere and someone drugged her drink or something.
Oh.
That's what I thought you guys meant.
That's crazy. But yeah, that was the story.
So your mom drugged you?
Accidentally by her cooking. Yeah, she was so mad.
But was that butter not labeled?
I don't know. I remember it was like in a glass jar, and it had like a gold like top, and it had like some fancy words on it.
So it was homemade?
I don't know.
Probably.
Honestly,
who like sells weed butter?
I don't know. I really don't know. I think it does exist though, because
I think so too.
I remember talking about it with some of my classmates, and they were like,
she's like, where do you get that weed butter? I need some
they
more.
were like, yeah, because one of my classmates was like, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, but you shouldn't use a lot because it's just supposed to calm you. I'm like, well, I didn't even know what my parents were cooking with. Like, how was I supposed to know?
That's interesting though. It's like a weird way to eat it. Butter.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I guess I don't know a lot about this stuff, but I think it's like when you do like edibles.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's just the same way like you cook. Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know.
I don't know either.
Interesting.
It's crazy.
Have you ever been drugged, Julissa?
Have I ever been drugged?
Yeah.
No.
on purpose or on accident?
No, I already don't trust anyone, so I don't think I'd eat anyone's food. Not even my own mother.
Dude, that's crazy.
That's funny.
That's a lot. Well, I haven't been drugged, but guys, I'm going to tell a story, and I don't care. I will out my brother.
Drunk.
So no, I didn't get drunk. There's been 2 different scenarios where I've had alcohol on accident. Actually, there's been 3, and I haven't told you guys this next one, but I'll only tell you guys the first 2, and they've all been accidents. And people,
3.
no, because we have like
Freaking fast.
10 minutes left. Okay, the first one. One time, Julio was going through his rebellious stages in life, and
It's always the siblings.
it's always the siblings. He was going through some rebellious whatever, and he was having a Sprite with vodka in it. And trust me when I tell you that I only realized that it was Sprite and vodka like a year ago. But this happened like 4 years ago. But it's because I didn't realize what the hell happened. Whatever. I was home, I was eating, and I saw like I saw a bottle of Sprite. And at our house, like if you see something, like you just drink it. It's not like, oh, I can't drink that, my dad's gonna get mad. No, like we have it. So I wanted to take a sip, and bro, I spit it out. I was like,
Why is it spicy?
what the heck? Literally, why is it spicy? And I was like, who the hell puts a cleaning product in here?
That's funny.
And I spit it out, and I was just like, that's so weird. Forgot about it.
Yeah.
So now in hindsight,
so funny.
it was vodka when Julio was going through like this phase where he was.
How old is he?
4 years ago, he was.
So he was over 21.
Yeah, he was over 21 for sure, and that's why he could buy the alcohol. And he had put it in he had been drinking that all day, but he left a little bit behind, and I was, punished for
Cleaning
it.
supplies.
The next time, I thought it was a cleaning supply. When you've never had alcohol before, that's your first instinct. Like you're like, this is what my Lysol smells like.
Yeah.
That's
Like rubbing alcohol.
Literally. So the second time I was in New York with my school, and the girls put the leftover vodka that they had been drinking in a water bottle. And we were short on water because we were in New York and we only bought water bottles for the room. And we had like 4 for the entire week, just in the room. If we wanted more, we'd have to go buy. So they put the vodka in there. I was eating breakfast. I just needed something to water my donut down. And I am the type of person that if I see your water bottle there, I'll drink it. Like it's not that deep, especially with these girls. They didn't care. Bro, I don't know. We were in college. Everyone was over age. I don't know why they decided to do that, to hide the vodka bottle and just put the leftover in the thing. Point is, it was 7 a.m, bro. I was eating a donut. Again, I take a drink, a big gulp of cleaning product again. And I'm just like, I spit it out. And then everyone like looks at me and they're like, what happened? And I'm like, did you guys put at this point I already knew. I was like, did you guys put the leftover alcohol in this bottle? And everyone started laughing. They took pictures of it. They were like, oh my God, Julissa finally drank. We're in it. And they sent a photo of the splash that I left on the floor, and everyone in the like school group chat was like, woohoo, she drank. They were trying to get me to drink the whole trip, and I spit it out. And then the last time, I have 7 minutes. Well, I've been doing this pretty fast. Bro, I went out to eat a week ago when we canceled. So this is your fault for canceling the podcast last week, because this wouldn't have happened if you wouldn't have canceled. I ordered a sushi roll, and they lit it on fire. And I had sushi before where you light it on fire, and they do it with like a specific rock. I don't know.
Okay.
They lit it on fire. I ate it, and this was me. Okay. This is the sushi roll. I put the whole thing in my mouth. That's how you eat sushi. I was like, oh my God, it's hot. It's hot. Why is it so spicy? Why is it spicy? The person that I was with was like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, like if I keep biting it, it's gonna picar. It was so spicy that I thought if I took a bite, it was gonna like over. And then I was literally frozen for like 30 seconds because it was the first time that I had gone out with this friend. And I was like, I can't grab a napkin and spit it out. That's not polite. But if I take another bite into this sushi, me va a enchilar, and I like really bad. And then 30 seconds passed and I was still like this. I haven't chewed it. I was frozen and I was like, okay, why is the tingliness going away? And I was like, oh my God, they put a shot in it to light it up. Because you know how you can light up alcohol?
Yeah.
And then so we looked at the menu and it had Everclear alcohol in it, but it didn't say that in the menu. It said it on like another online menu that could, when we looked it up, and I was like, who sells you a roll of sushi, even if it's just a little bit of alcohol? Because the piece that I grabbed had a huge like
it's like they dumped most of it on it.
They dumped most of it on it, and I just, dude, it was the freakiest thing because I was embarrassed.
But isn't the fire burns alcohol though?
I think maybe because it was rice and the sushi, it might have like absorbed some of it,
bro.
Yeah.
It absorbed it because it was so spicy and it was nasty.
Spicy?
But it's because that's my first instinct. Like when you've never had, when you don't know that you're about to, when you don't know that you're about to take a sip of alcohol and you take a sip of it or you eat it, like it's burning. It doesn't taste like something edible. And yeah, those are 3 times. So
that's crazy.
I've never been drugged, but I've definitely had alcohol on multiple occasions on accident. And I'm kind of tired of it happening to me. I think it's a sign.
And for you guys that are listening to us, you might be like, well, what's the big deal? Well, for us 3 that are sitting here today, we've chosen a life where we don't want to drink and we don't want to do drugs. And we just chose that lifestyle. And so it's a big deal for us for these things to be happening to us because it's like, oh my gosh, I promised that at least I made this promise to myself I would never do it. And then, yep.
Yeah. And it's also like I think we all have different reasons as to why we are not going to partake in these activities. But when it does happen to you, like I think if I would have gotten high on accident, I would have flipped out. Completely flipped out. Like God knows why that didn't accidentally happen to me, because you know how God turns all things for good. I don't know if he would have been able to turn that for good. I would have gone crazy. But the alcohol, it's just like a momentary thing, and that I would have needed a lot to get drunk, and it was never to that extent. But yeah, I don't know why I said that.
That's so funny. Those are funny.
I'm afraid of going crazier than I already am.
So we like to have control of our bodies, the ultimate decision.
Yeah.
And control of our minds.
When you are an anxious person, you barely feel like you're in control. So why would you put a substance in your body to take away any little ounce of control that you have? That's just me.
I get that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, AB?
Sorry, I was distracted.
Yeah, we can tell. I know who he was thinking about.
Who?
C.
Your mama?
Just kidding. My mom has done nothing but love you.
Mom's nice.
I know. She is.
So is Vicky's mom.
Aw, my mommy.
Yeah.
She's so wonderful.
Your mom used to hate me.
What's doing, bro?
Yeah, why? She loves me now because I didn't like Abraham and he would cry about it.
That's not true. What? I never cried about it.
Cried about it?
No.
Yes,
this is new to me.
I didn't cry about it.
Yeah, you did.
Not that I remember. Anyway.
We can go ahead and close off this episode.
Go ahead and close it off.
All right, guys. Well,
sponsored by Watermelon.
Thank you guys for joining us on our last episode of Usually Best of Friends podcast our first episode for season 2. If you guys have any suggestions on what we should talk about in the next episodes, let us know. But I'm glad that you guys joined me today and that we were able to talk about some random things and not be on a schedule. But yeah, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, and a couple others. Usually Best of Friends.
Yeah. Little TikTok.
Yes. Bye.
See you guys. Bye.